Come.
This is the time to come together to keep our country safe forever. So open up your heart, let a true love come right in. Cause love is all we need to make us stand. Let's understand one another and learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, love is what we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home.
Let's celebrate. Share this video, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Basa Premier. My name is Kappa.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, yes.
Second Jiba will now dedicate this song.
I have no copyright to this music. Facebook, please do not disenfranchise my podcast here. I'm doing it just for my listening audience back in Africa and around the world. Share this video.
That the Liberian people will vote and choose their own leader. So let us all celebrate
So what I want you to do for me is to keep sharing.
election for unity and prosperity. Yeah. Ooh la la.
Oh yes, my chairman, Ambassador Gala Gordon Great is watching me from live. Share this video, my brother. Very important topic today. We'll be here for less than an hour or at most an hour. But I want you to share. Keep pressing the share button. I want you to join me. And you can make your comment as well. Again, I want to say to Facebook, I have no copyright. I'm playing this music for the benefit of my people. So please do not lock me or let my people enjoy this music and enjoy this program. This is the Basa Premium program. My name is Kokwabi Wo. Yeah, the program been here for 5 years. We are not here to go, we're here to stay. We're building one radio station, one television in life, television station in life. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Fala Peters are joining him. Share this video, Fala. I want you to celebrate. I want you to join me to celebrate, ladies and gentlemen. We are back home after complete 10 days of incarceration at one of the most renowned hospitals in central New York. I'm back. I'm back home. Probably I'll be called tonight to go back. I don't know, but I'm back home. Okay, we don't want to waste the time. We want to go to the topic right away. So I will appeal to Zach and Jiba to give me a few minutes to pause this music. I should try to intellectually discuss this issue. Today is going to be about discussion. It is not going to be about me talking. I want you to make your comment. This is why I want you to share this podcast to everybody that you know, because this is very key. Yeah. Okay. Let me take this time to welcome all those that are contemplating or those that have already started trooping to come to this platform. The Basa People Premium is a traditional program. We've been here for almost 5 years. We should have celebrated our anniversary this month, but I was away. So we tried to find time to do something about that. Being a medical person living in foreign land, try to look for money to survive, we have no choice. When duty call to order, we must be there. But I returned this morning, slept, and I'm here to give you just a fruit of thought. But I want you to do me a favor. I'm appealing to you. I want you to watch this podcast. I want you to comment on the podcast. And I want you to share this podcast because it's so very key to our democratic process. Democracy is about everybody involved. So I want us to involve everyone as possible as we can. That's my plea. But let me say this. This platform belongs to everybody. Opposition, ruling establishment, religious leader, everybody. Don't forget, I have announced and I have published that I'm supporting and sustaining the presidential bid of Councilor Professor Tiawan say Gonglo. I am. I want to say that to you right from this program. Today, I'm not here promoting him. If I'm here promoting Tiawan Gonglo, his music will be the first I will play. So I just want to declare that to you. And when I come here, I'm not biased. Not because I'm supporting Tiawan Gonglo, so my everything will be about Tiawan. No, or Gonglo. No. If you have said anything against him, I'm not going to battle with you in a very worse manner. I think my role to support Councillor Gonglo is to educate, to bring you to attention, to tell you this is the way. As I said before, I will be asking you the person that you should vote for. I'm not going to tell you who you should not vote for. That left for your conscience. I wonder somebody on this platform heard what I said. We are not going to speak to people concerning the person they should not vote for. It's not our business. Probably you will hear it in passing. Maybe we will write, maybe we will say it, but to come to you practically and say, don't vote for John Brown, it is your conscience. What we're going to be propounding is we will be telling you who to vote for. And I will say to you, vote for Councillor Tiawan Say Gonglo when the appropriate time comes. That's the message I have for you. For today, I'm not here to promote him, but I have the willpower to introduce myself as one of his supporters. So I want you to get that. Again, I want to congratulate the councillor. According to information, he is now the standard bearer of the Liberian People's Party, meaning he is no more property of an individual. He's a property of the Liberian people. The Liberian people will decide what to do with him. You heard me? It is the Liberian people that are going to decide what they want to do with Tiawan S. Gonglo. It's not me. It's not my chairperson, the guy who is heading the troop, Tim Kokwa B. Wowo for Gonglo in Grand Bassa County. It is not his property. It is the property of the public. He's in the public glare, the both people will say. He's in the public domain. He's no more in my hands. If I'm talking to him now, I will say, Mr. President to be. In fact, the last time I checked, I said, Mr. President. When I call him, I say, Mr. Because for me, I'm only waiting for an inauguration. Anybody here heard me? UJ is watching me. Welcome, UJ. The only thing we are waiting for now, the people who know what is going to happen, is the inauguration of Tiawan Gonglo. We're not talking about those political pundits that are in Monroe roaming around and circumventing anything they can do, what they can do. The election for me, imaginatively, is over. We are just going for the inauguration. And I say I'm not, somebody said, but is he not promoting your name? But yeah, I got to say it. But let me say this to you. So I congratulate you, Honorable Gonglo. You're no more aspirant. You're a candidate. And we're going to feed you. This is what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted to say. And let me say it. Don't be deceived. Nobody in Liberia should be deceived. It is very glaring that in a promising coalition, anybody here heard me? I want to repeat that. In a promising coalition in Liberia, Gonglo will not be on the side. For us and our house and our supporter, Gonglo will be at the front line. He will lead the troop. So I want to sound that out very clear right from the start. If anybody thinking about going to coalition and Gonglo will be behind them, no. But let me say this, it's not one of the reasons why some political paralyzed individual, incapable people who want to, compare our people to vote for them, they will say, look, I can't be anything. I have to beat it. Not what I'm saying. I'm not saying Gonglo will not be waiting to reconcile on behalf. In fact, one thing he told me, he said, look, I will do just what the Liberian people want me to do. That's been a fair person. He's not talking about if I'm not president, then I will not pursue the cause. But what I'm telling you is Gonglo is a nuclear component of the political landscape as of tonight. And don't overlook him, because you know what? A lot of people with real mindset, they are gravitating to get on this redemption train. This redemption train that's going to lead us to political freedom. People are gravitating to get on the redemption train. Again, my name is Kopa, the name right here, and the number is right here. You can call, you can text, you can do anything. But let me go to the topic today. I know it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do because a lot of countries, over 176 plus countries, have ventured into this. I want to register this right from the start. Whatever you do is a sword with two edges at all levels, and every level. You got the right, you got the left. You got the one that is optimistic, you got the one that's pessimistic. You got other side of the sword that is the right process and one is the wrong process. And you have the challenging part and you have the gain part. So I want us to understand very well. To even lay down on your bed is challenged by the way you turn. To even eat is challenged depending on the kind of quantity and quality of food you try to either masticate or chew or swallow. So I'm just telling you, so having a biometric system in Liberia is not 100% a gain. Because I know many people are not rejoicing. Many people are jubilating, which I won't blame them for that. But it has advantages and disadvantages. Anybody heard that? It has advantages and disadvantages. The process must be adequate enough or sufficient enough to effect the gains that we want. Otherwise than that, we will put in a process that is believed to be unique, but the results will be worse. It's like those days when we're in high schools. Some of us who graduated from the William V.S. Tubman High School on 12th Street in Single Monroe. Those days were on V.S. Tubman High School. And those days, government school, we were made to learn and to produce results. And we computed, we went to the classroom to compute, to get results. Many of us who did not really use their mind wisely, they study with us, but time for exam and test, they flunk, and then they say, why did I fail the test? You got the methodology very well. You read, but you were not analytical to arrive at the solution. So you got the wrong answer. And so the teacher at the time, he decides to give you what he thinks you're supposed to get. But if you get a correct answer, your answer is correct. He has no room to give you 10 over 5. 5 over 10. 5 out of 10 when you get 10 points. But if you just satisfy the way you understood it and you think that is the most appropriate way, you can get 1 over 10. And then you start to say, oh, what happened to them? Lina Topa, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to share this video for me. This podcast is for everybody. This is the Bypass Our Premium. Welcome you. So it is a sin. We are determined, which is a good thing to do. And let me first of all register my thanks and appreciation to the international community and also to the current establishment, the president and his government, in as much as I'm not supporting them. The attempt to introduce the system, I think it is a good thing to do. I know at first start there will be latches that we all have to, absorb. There will be challenges, but we need to start discussing the challenges right now to put in place mechanisms that will mitigate. Did you hear that? I'm not saying that we get rid of. I did not say that we actually eliminate, but I said to mitigate, mean to lessen the impact. So I've come here today. The question on our board is Liberia prepared to replace the biometric with the voter ID base? In Liberia now, in past election, you must register your name, your age, wherever, and they give you an ID card with numerical value with your picture that not resemble you, but that is you. And you use that code to go to the precinct or to the polling center and to cast your vote for the political party candidate of your choice. That's what we did. They've been going Caesar up and down, this one around. We said, no, we want to go to the biometric, which is good. That question came to my mind and I posted it 2 days on my Facebook. I did. I posted a few days on my Facebook and asking if we are prepared, because the length of time in preparation of a system reduces the errors. I'm a student of science, major in zoology, minor in chemistry. So I know what I'm telling you. If you are giving a chemical reaction or you're giving chemical to produce a chemical reaction, the preparation from the start of all the elements that are coming into play, it will give you the result you want. But it has limited time, and your skills is limited, and your knowledge is not as huge as other people. The result will be very poor. Let me take a short musical break, and when I come back, we continue. We don't want the trouble. We don't want to follow. We don't want the trouble. We don't want to follow. Yeah. Let's come together, work together, baby. Trouble is solve our problem, mama. This generation solve our problem, mama. We don't want no holla. We don't want no confusion. We don't want no holla. We don't want no confusion. Yeah. Let's celebrate and have a good time, brother. Let's celebrate and have a good time, sister. Let's join hands and sing together, baby. So, oh, sweet Liberia, let us live our day. Oh, sweet Liberia, let us freedom. Oh, sweet Liberia, oh, sweet Liberia, let us joy and sing. Sweet Liberia, we can make it stand. So, as I was saying, if you are not prepared very well, you will get the worst result. So, as with this process, is Liberia prepared? Are we prepared to replace the biometric with the voter ID base. And I want you to answer the question as per your own understanding. It is not a one-sided prescription I'm giving here. I'm asking a question to Liberians that will be participating in a very crucial elections, presidential and general elections 2023. That is not a baby, it's a no-go zone for a baby politician. If you know you cannot stand the heat, don't go there. For us, we will remain resolute, polite. We will address issues. We're not going to address personalities. This is where the education going to come. We will educate you. What you, I mean those that are the front line, and us, some of us in the diaspora. Do you know that whatever hurts you in Liberia, we feed the pain abroad? And it is because of this, whatever happens in Liberia, we try to share our views. Many people of our time will say, oh, you guys don't live here. You don't live for us. You can be in America, you can be in Europe, you can be in Asia and talk about our election, about our country. Heck, no, it is not your election, it is not your country, it is our elections and it is our country. Liberia is a country that belongs to everybody, including me. However, let me say this now. Over the past decade or over the past years, many countries have calibrated and recalibrated to employ what is termed as the biometric system of election. There are reasons. Many times we have noticed, we have heard, and we have seen people have said the biometric is good because you know why? It is a straightforward method. Ideally, a cop fraud, eliminate multiple registration, and make election more secure and efficient. That's the reason. That is the self-implied reasons. In practice, the utility of this system depends on the context of the country. That's the take-home message I want to take. And I hope government officials and non-government officials, people in the diaspora that are supporting individual candidates, people in Liberia that are glued to political wing of a party, people in Liberia that have desecrated the country and remain to insist that they own Liberia and they can carry Liberia anyhow, anyway. And they have other supporters from our country living abroad that are preaching the message. Even if it is going against their fathers and their mothers and everybody don't care. Once they are benefiting from the government, the establishment in power, they don't care who is not in school. They don't care who is not receiving affordable, accessible, and available health care. They don't care who is not having full meal a day. They are not concerned, who is not even been in power to sustain his or her home. You think they care when there's no job? You think they care for food security? You think they're concerned about self-reliance? You think they're concerned about gender equity? They don't care. So I want them to listen. The reason for the biometric, I've said it, is to curb and eliminate multiple registration and make election more secure and efficient. That's the reason. But the question, and I ask you again, the question that came to my mind continuously, whether we as Liberians, we are ready. Don't forget to keep sharing. Just keep pressing your sharing button. Are we really? And I want you to be asking questions. I want you to be making comments. I want you to call me on this number. My phone is open. Call me and let us discuss this issue. Don't leave it in my hands. This is the babies that we all have to babysit. If we fail to babysit this baby, of course, it is going to be on us. It's going to be on you. It's going to be on me. My children and my grandchildren will ask me, Papa, Mama, where were you? And I don't want you to be confused with that question when it comes to your mind. I don't want you to have your pens down because you will be so ashamed, you will be so disintegrated, you will be so confused to answer your little child, Papa, what happened to you? And you will be sitting there and say, my son, and you give sparrow stories. Never ending sparrow stories. But that child or those children will not have interest because you have the time to do it now. And that's why we are here and available 24/7 to educate you. Okay? Sometimes the government will employ scanner of your face. That's one way they will do it. So that when you appear to the pool right away, by the time you put your face, you go there, your face will just appear. Say, everybody will see you. Another thing, they will use fingerprint. Those are two key, two important factors or tools that are often used for biometric. Whether for monetary value or for election, you got to get your face value scanned. And then you have the other new fingerprint. Because my fingerprint is different from my brother in Banitham's fingerprint. Your fingerprint in Canada living there is different from your sister living in Liberia fingerprint. So they use fingerprint. My face, I may have some resemblance of my oldest brother who lived next door to me because we have some characteristics, and sometimes people think we were twins, but this man is older than 15 years more than me, or maybe 25 years more than before I was born. But we had some future that we looked at the same. But it is quite different, and this is in there. So it will not be this time that somebody from Bokonjide who registered in Bokonjide and came to Monrovia and register, we have to register again because his face will be there already. As soon as he go to the booth to register, his face is there. When he going to vote, his face will appear once, and that will be recorded. And there will not be any time around that he will go back to Bokonjide and vote. Very key. If you have your fingerprint and your fingerprint is scanned is already in the computer and you're going back there to vote, after you have done that, that fingerprint is there. It's not, even though we used to do it before, but this one is going to be electronic driven. And there's no way that somebody want to macro target it. So I want you to be clear on this. All right. This have been used by over 176 countries, the government to attempt to identify voter so that we can reduce what I talked about earlier, the cheating, the fraud. So we talk about the overall goal against fraud and registration errors. But as I look today in our election system, under our current chairperson, David Eto Brown, councillor at law, are we really prepared? Because I just want to give you some things that you will have to know, you will have to feel in as a preliminary steps, as a preliminary step before you can even conclude that you are prepared. Do we think that the system under the current NEC will disenfranchise, and will be able to avoid voter macro target in our new dispensation? I will give you 5 minutes and I will play a little music for 2 minutes or so, but I want you to ask questions. Guys, I don't want you to just sit. I'm seeing a lot of comments here. I will bring them back on the screen later on. I want you to keep writing your comment. It is about time that we should discuss this issue. It is about time. If we miss this day, this hour today, there's no time. We have less than 15 months to go to the elections. So now we should be evaluating ourselves. We should assess and reassess ourselves to see where we are today. Because any mistake in 2023 is going to throw us back. If we elect the wrong person for the wrong reason, I told one of my brothers and friends, I said, look, I know what you guys going through. Every day when people call me, whether you know the person before you don't know them, since they know that you're on Facebook and you doing all the advocacy and telling people you're helping them, the very first thing after 2 days, they will ask you for money. And sometimes I get confused. Few months back, I was like, what is this thing happening? But I have no reason to blame them no more. If they tell me, I will just tell them, say, look, gentlemen, I don't have anything right now. In the future, I will help you. And before then, I used to tell them, but is it what you come on Facebook for? And I want to apologize to you, friends, those people that I used to tell, I think I was in error. And I must admit, because you know what? The thing you're going through is highest, is bigger than yourself. And the only thing you wanted is relief. So let me say to you, I apologize. But this time around, since last night, I have received about 15 calls and several text messages that I mean to help people. I will not help other you people. And what you're expecting, I will not give it to you. But if I have something, I will give it to you. And whatever I gave you, please appreciate it, because you know what? Myself as an individual, I have my own loads. And I have several luggages I'm carrying. Family issue, friends issue, relatives issue, pay my bills on time, pay the car loan, pay my health. It's not like in life, brother, you have to say, I will pay it. It is you have to. Nobody asking you. Car loan coming from your check. As soon as it gone to the bank, you're not going to ask any question. Let me go pay my taxes. It will come out. Whatever you have there is your change. If you can't eat 3-4 meals a day in America, it's level. And sometimes we don't do it because we don't have the money. We don't have the capabilities. Sometimes we just eat something to keep us moving. But people think America is heaven. No, it is not. We sometimes suffer here more than you do. But it's okay, yeah. The only thing is, at least we have hope. Unlike you don't have. Okay, this is why we educating you. This is why I'm educating you to be able to do the right thing. And you saw my last post that I sent. I said Liberians must learn, they must listen. They must listen, they must learn, and they must do the right thing. Those 3 attributes should be at the back of your head. I am not going to tell you who not to vote for, as I said, but I'm going to tell you who to vote for. Your other friends will tell you who not to vote for because they want to disenchant, they want to spoil their own way. I'm not going to be talking against people. I'm just going to talk it in part, but I'm going to deal with the issue that hurting. Or if I'm dealing with the socio-economic issue of Liberia, I will deal with it. If I'm dealing with healthcare, I will state those that are responsible. If I'm dealing with education, I will still do, but I'm not going to do it in a disrespectful manner, because you know what? Politics in the new dispensation has a very new face value. Yes, it have a very new face value. So why is it that I will come here, take my own 1 hour, 30 minutes to come educate you, then you say you don't have work to do in America? I don't have work to do, but I'm not living very destitute life, but I'm trying very hard to speak for you, stand for you, so we can help together, we can improve the livelihood of the over thousands of my friends and family living back home. This is why you see me coming here. I have no cost if I don't want to, but it is obliged. I'm obliged, I'm obligated to do just what I'm doing. Okay? So, I just wanted you to ask questions. I saw 7 comments already down there. I still want you to create the atmosphere, create it, and send it out there to your people to read. A lot of people, Isaac B is here, he made a comment here. Hello, Isaac is here. I got your message, but we'll talk later on today because I've been very, very busy and I regret the situation. Again, my education, it should be key. Now I'm going to the processes that we think And I want to sound this out very loud and in the most loudest form to the people at the neck offices. I'm going to say this again. I want people who are connected to NEC to share this podcast because these things must be in place before we can even talk about bringing the gadgets or bringing the equipment in Liberia. Anything less than that, we will be wasting our time. Let me go back to my music and take a very short musical break. And when I come back, I will give you another face value of the methodology that we think you should bring to our people. Oh yeah. You feel alright one time. Hey, you feel alright two times. Hey, you feel alright three. So let's go back. Let's go back here. We don't want to waste your time, but let's go back to our program today. Just for you to know. And I told you the person that you have in your conversation. Told you my name is Kokpa Biwo, and I'm trying to speculate is the other word you want to use. I'm trying to speculate, probably trying to more or more bring to light our expectations, our disappointment. We don't want to be sitting there and something happened. We say, but we didn't know all the processes. We didn't know, we were not prepared, and why we did what we did. And some of us, as research-oriented people and people who have interest in like Liberia, we will always come here to educate you so you can think otherwise. We have been joined by a born leader. He's watching me from Iowa. Thank you for coming, my cousin. And I want you to share this to all in your contact. Those that are in your contact, I want you to share it today. So now let's look at some key issues. Since nobody thought talking is could be important, I think it is just important that we speak. I know Liberian people, you are aware, I don't have to tell you. Majority-based election has always been the possibility of two runs for the presidency. Majority-based. And we've been having that in Liberia. The last time I checked, since Charles Taylor overwhelmingly won the election in Liberia, every other presidential election has been happening with two runs possibility. Again, this one that we're entering in is going to end up into two runs. I don't know why many times the politicians, the political party, we want to wait for second rounds. It is by chance. It is by chance because it is that time you have what we call voter fatigue. We have voter fatigue. Many people will be exhausted. Many voters will be disappointed. Many people will be reluctant. Many people will move out of country. And many people will have other things more value than just standing for people to get into political power. So I just want to say that before I go to what I'm supposed to go to, I just want to look out there and open a playing field for our people in politics. If you want to form a coalition that will be a one run. Did you hear that? If you want to form a coalition, I want you to form or organize a coalition that will go for one round. Don't give anybody the second chance. Don't give them the second chance. Don't give them a second chance. Don't waste your time on second chance. You will never be certain what is going to happen. You saw what happened in this going election with Joseph Boakai. It was only Joseph Boakai and the late Councillor Bronskin. May he rest in peace for the hard work he did for our people. They were the only people that go into court by themselves against the ruling party. Everyone, every political party was bought over. The ruling party has money, and so they will buy you over. We are heard from different sources in government, in oppositions, that this election, there could be frauds, registration errors, and a whole lot of things because people are fighting to ensure that the current president, President George Weah, who is our president, should be able to benefit from his second term because other people are benefiting. That is not his right. That is not his God-given right. If the people were electing, I will be the first person to congratulate him. When I mean elect President Weah, I'm talking about electing President Weah in a manner and form that is acceptable by everyone in the international community. I will congratulate him. I will congratulate him. Give me a second. Let me take this call. It's very important. You are my business partner, so I just wanted you to know that. Sorry for that. Again, I hope what I've been saying, people have been hearing it, because look there. Let me check here and see whether I've been hearing myself or you've been hearing me, because nobody make comments here about not hearing me. Okay, I think people were falling, but I will check. Okay, so that's it right there. And I want you to keep sharing. I want you to keep sharing the video, people. The internet, the possibility. The internet, the possibility. Yeah. So I want us to go back to the lecture. Yeah. So if you didn't get what I say, I will go over it. I'll go over it. So I said the system must be good. It's the system that matters. And we should have the people to ensure that the system is good. So I was trying to inform you, and I will take my own time to generate some of the answers that you will need. And I was saying that in the past year, since Charles Taylor won the election, we have not had anybody winning one time. But I said that the politicians in Liberia should stop. The politicians in Liberia should stop. They should stop waiting for second rounds. It's not dependable political factor. It is a projection. It is suspected. There's no expected results that is 100% okay for that. I don't want you to do that. If you want to found a coalition that will be a one round. You beat the ruling establishment or they beat you. Out of the two. Don't wait and say, oh, and the reason I'm saying that, so it was only the Unity Party and the Liberty Party, both of them were going to court to challenge the election result. Our brother and friend Alexander Cumming of the ANC said, my hand are inside. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to say I want to support either CDC or support Joseph Boakai. Because according to him, all these people were corrupt, they were not good people, and he was a Mr. Clean. He could not collaborate with unclean people. So he stayed away. That could happen. That could happen. So if you want to find, or you want to organize a political jamboree, a political stronghold, or coalition that will beat the CDC government, you have to start right from the beginning. Don't wait until, when Joria and Gonglo go second term, then I will support Gonglo, I will support Wia. Or when Joria and then, but right now I will support this person. You will be playing, you will be treading on a dangerous political path. That's what so if for any reason I was on mute and you did not hear that part, I want to let you know. So let me say this very quickly. So that's what we have been. Proportional representation with lists of other people coming in. Majority-based election for senator, representative from states. We have that. We're going to have that this year. But let's look at the histories of computerized voting. And I want you to listen. Computerization started in 1986. There has been experience of 7 million voters in other countries like Brazil, like India. They have been registered into a one single database. So what we are talking about here, Liberians and people in Liberia, what we are talking about here, we are talking about a registration into one single database, biometric. No substitutes, no interface with this going to be the sub, this one going to be this cloud. It's going to be in one single database. So if your name is not in that database, your name will not be anywhere. It will not be on any card, voting card, or any paper for that matter. Okay? The actual work of the whole computerized, it began in 1995. No, so this is what our Liberian RT committee in the election or at the election commission should be doing. They should be able to present a prototype of an electronic voting machine that everyone is familiarized with. What am I trying to make the very, very key here? Even if you go to the office, or if I go to the office, like for instance, I was in one of the offices yesterday, and after I conducted what we call QA, quality assessment of infection control in environmental assessment of the entire hospital, I was made to do analysis of everything that I saw. Somebody who understood the system have to come and take me through for 15 minutes. So I cannot double key in the data. But the good thing about the system, if you double key in the data, it will just bounce back. It will tell you this data. Do we have that kind of system now in Liberia, or are we thinking that our biometric will have a system where if John Brown, Neil, if you John Brown, the only thing we will need to do, and I want to speak to this very key issue. If my name is John Brown, my face value will be different. It might need a John Brown with an initial or with a middle name, it would make it different. We can have 100,000 John Brown in a system that will have 100,000 face on a scanner. That is not possible, except that we're only using the fingerprint, and the fingerprint will be different from one person to another person. Again, we got to make sure that the prototype of the electronic voting machine is actually been tested in the field, and our 4 million people, those eligible voters, are occurring with the utilization of the machine. That's the point I wanted to make. Parameters for your electronic voting system. What are some of the stuff that we need to already be able to think about? I mean, the election commission, the government, standardization. It must be standardized. We can have one aspect different interface in Lofa County. We have different interface in Buchanan. We have different interface in Maryland. It must be standardized. This is why we need people with IT knowledge, that most of them are not government-driven people, because the government or some other people could blame people in the system to do just what they can do. So we need a standard aspect to come there to standardize and make sure that the standardization is controlled, and make sure that it's locked when it's supposed to be locked, and nobody can go in there and put any data in it. Okay? The electronic voting system should comply with the Liberian legislation. I will come to that later on. It must be user-friendly process. There's no way that you can take the machine in the field. You have thousands of people coming to vote. They have only 3% since the morning to 3 o'clock. They are there. They have not been able to go through. It means it is not user-friendly. And when it's not user-friendly, that in itself going to cause chaos for our people. It is meant for cost reduction. Okay, so you don't have to bring everybody to the voting center. You can just you can come to a village, deploy people, and they can just go from home to home, and people can just vote by just entering key in what is supposed to. So it will reduce the durability. The security is so improved and so good, but you know what? It can only work if we have all other apparatus in place. Logistical advantages, that one thing it has, is autonomous. It is autonomous because nobody has the room to interfere. I hope and pray that we will now have one electronic biometric machine at the election commission, and we have one duplicate at Mama Point, or we have another duplicate at Rawasi, or we have another duplicate somewhere in Cinco. I hope Liberian people that I trust, and I think we should set that basis of credibility. We should not be involved in that. Let's go to the implementation premise. One thing that we should establish, and I will come back here again with this lecture, that electoral justice should be fully familiar with the electronic voting process. What that means, apart from the judiciary that we have right now, there should be an electoral justice. We have them already. We have the people in the various counties that head in it. They should be familiar. The election magistrates should be familiar with the electronic voting process. Do we have the time? Are we able? Have we done ourselves a justice to have the people prepare having less than 15 months to go? Or we're going to wait in September, then we'll try to train them, then maybe in at the end of September, then we'll try to train the voter. That is going to make things very, very, very much impossible. And I know that it will create a blatant effect on the impact of our biometric. And this is why I want to be the first to sound out this education that it should start as soon as possible, because the election in Liberia comes 2023. It is going to be crucial and nobody want to play with the result. The electronic voting process, remember, is not limited to the electronic voting machine alone. It has a whole database and a backup system. Do we have those systems in place? Have we able to train people? Again, let's say this. I know the election commission, with the limited power and the resources they have, they're going to import experts from China, from Korea, from America, but we want a team, a trusted team that will sit behind it and tell us this is the result without any brand envelope passing on the table. The Liberian people have resolved and they will do just what is right, because they will listen and they will learn and they will do just what is right. Don't forget, people, the national voting system, whether it is biometric or it is by voting card, it depends on the constitution of the Republic of Liberia. And we must say that not because it's going to be biometric, we're going to use different regulations, we're going to use different laws, we're going to use the same constitution. We have to make sure that everything is in place. I want to remind the people of Liberia that your constitution will be protecting the biometric. What we don't know is to what extent. Okay? Culture and history of the democratic process. Oh my gosh. I hope I will have some legal person here who could better explain this. But let me take a short musical break, take some water, come back to you, and then we'll look at that at my level. We don't want the trouble. We don't want the father. We don't want the trouble. We don't want the father. Yeah. I hope we're coming to the class. If you come to class, you must ask questions. Don't come to the class and go back, as you came. When you come to the class, when you go back, you must take home something and tell the other people. So what we said, the national voting system depends on the constitution, the cultural history of the democratic process. What cultural and histories do we have in Liberia? Many people go to the prison or the voting very late. Some of us are not patient. The education, we don't have the human, material, and monetary or the physical cash to support the system at the level of the rural inhabitants. Even if we have it, We want to use our own methods by saying, oh no, this one is not time for me to register. The culture is so weak. The history is so fragile that people who are supposed to educate people, they go to the community and then they compromise their integrity with the voters. In fact, they are going there as a political party representation instead of going there as an election commission representation. I saw it in many of the towns and villages when I was in election. Some of them, they sent, they were already having intermittent affairs with representative leadership people in the same group, and they were not respecting the purpose of which they were sent there. Some of them were already spending their money. Some of them were already daring women, and they were all on the street doing all. So they killed the morale and they killed the integrity of the system, the culture and the history. People should be told not to do so. If anybody does that, anyone who is supervisor must suspend that person and replace them immediately for the credibility. Financial capability. Do we have? Oh, I know we'll be begging. We'll be begging the people. Please help us. We don't have money. Everything is the international community. Everything will be the international community. So this is why I'm saying, are we ready? Are we ready to deploy? This is not about having having pools. You will have the pool, but you can even send some people. Do we have many people to cover the 15 counties and the several electorate points in our nation? Do we have the money to pay and feed them? Or are we going to have problem with the people after they have done their work? They have to come for the salary, which is school. Do you have money to sustain them in the fee? What about logistics? What about cars? What about motorbike? What about sleeping? Some of them virtually slept in the street. And since some of them were sleeping in the street or on the kitchen, they were gravitating to political godfather that would feed them. And so they were giving them the information and getting voters to register in the interest and they were running campaign. Legislation. Besides the constitution, we need to set in place a legislation, additional legislation in the election laws and the regulation that is not only guarding the RD card voting process, but this time around is going to guard the improved biometric system. Okay? Requirements of any voting system solution. For it to be complete, all possibility must be identified and worked out. Liberian people, I want you to come on a platform. You don't have to call if you don't have, but tell us in few words. You have the time to put. Do we have the possibility to identify and work out? One, operate anywhere. Indigenous village, large urban center. You're not going to be only in community and in cities. You are going to go down to the indigenous village, serving everyone. Do we have that capability? Do we have that capability? I'm sorry, people. I got to take this call quickly. This is very important. It's not easy to be where we are today. We have to continue the process talking to people because people are providing us with a lot of other information that we need to make use of. And we are discussing some pertinent issue when it comes to the election in Liberia. And we are key player too. We have to operate in indigenous village, large urban center, serve everyone virtually impaired, illiterates, and elder. Now let's get this. This time around, our visually impaired people should be given the chance to vote. The illiterates, people who can read and write, it is just about process and putting finger or boom. So it's not about, oh, I can read my name. the errors, etc., must be. So this is the implementation premises, the requirement of any voting system. These are the things I've given for it to be complete. All possibility must be identified and worked out. Operate anywhere in the indigenous village, large urban centers, serve everyone, visually impaired, illiterates, adults, and even those that can read and write. So I just wanted to pass this by you, and so you can know. Vote counting, if we are very good on time and everything is good, we need to know the per second average speeding during voting count. Let me say this to the people in Liberia, because this is where many things will go wrong. Yes. This is where I think many mistakes we will see will go wrong. And you know what? The internet facility. The internet facility. That classification of voting, when people are voting, the preliminary results, people have to be seen it either on television or on phone. The counting will be taking place. So maybe at about 8 p.m. on the first day, or on the election is conducted on only one day. At about 8 p.m. on election day, about 90% of the votes will already be counted. I want to repeat that. At about 8 p.m., I'm not talking about 6 p.m. It will be too soon to say. I will put it to 8 p.m. on the election day. About 90% plus of votes will be counted, will already be known. So, what are we going to waste our time on? So before the next day, it's just formality for the election chairperson to go and stand and announce it. But everything will be completed. Everything will be done with. Everything will be done with. Everything will be done with. People, I apologize. I need to take this call. Okay. Sorry, people. Yeah. So I'm giving you the information preliminarily so you can know. So you can be like, nobody told us. And I know our election commission, we have very educated people. I don't want to undercut anybody respect here. But sometimes election commission, some part become establishment election commission. Some of them become opposition election commission. I mean, I got to speak. I told you when I was starting this discussion, I talked about the soul with the two H's. So I'm going to be blunt here. But they are very transparent and people with credibility. They don't want to be involved in such. They will watch this thing, and when they go to court, they stand for what they say. But if the election would be an established government in power election, I mean, then what we're talking about, they're going to downplay most of them. They're not going to talk about it. They're not going to speak on it. They're going to relax. They're going to forget. They're not going to talk about it no more. They will be tired. They will be pretending that no money. And at the end of the day, say we'll just do what we can do. This election in 2023, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are listening to me, this is not going to be the election that you will say we will do just what we want to do. It's crucial. It's a decision-making process. What is going to take Liberia to another level, or what going to cause us to sink further, is what we're talking about. What are the expected results if all what we have talked about will be in place? What will be the improvement? Improvement in voter identification process. Refinement of the electoral registration process. Reduction of identification fraud. We talk about that. So those three cardinal points are very key. We'll improve in our voter identification process. We'll refine the electoral registration process. We'll reduce identification fraud. will reduce duplication, 10%, one person need in the system 10 times. That's not going to happen. But the system must have all the capability to work with. The legislation, the money, and everything we're talking about. It must be there. And don't forget, we talk about electronic voting process is not limited to the machine only. We must be able to align our constitution with everything we say. The culture, the history of the democratic process must be talk about. The financial capability must have a strong financial power to do what we want to do. And again, the electoral justice should be fully familiarized with the electronic voting process. That is key. Thank God everybody in Liberia, not the summer or were in college before we touched computer for the first time. People have started learning computer right from their phone when they are 6 years old. So I know most of the guys, the election magistrates will be able to do just what is good. Again, I want to say what I say. They will listen, they will learn, and they will do what is right. Lastly, classification of cities by population. That's why we need a census. That's why we need a census to be done. Judy Zare Kennedy, welcome to the platform from Kentucky. She just joining us. Judy, as usual, we expect everyone to share this. It's very key to us, and so we want you to keep sharing it. Okay? We want you to share it. Classification of cities by population. Very key. Very, very key. Sorry, guys, I think I left this. Oh, very, very key. We need the population data. That's very key. Don't allow anybody to tell you, say, no, we can count the people, we can go. And let me say this. I want to say this for the benefit of the candidates and their supporters, including myself. I witnessed it. I was there. Nobody told me. It happened my eyes, right before my eyes. Koro koro. People go to the villages and try to assume that people in the next town, they are 500. And they try to sit by night and classify the number into sex, and then they produce it to the to the Census Bureau, and they say that's the population. I want us to be honest. Like, don't go to Bijo town, you say in Bijo town, and you try to deduce how many people in Dozen. Don't do that. Or you go to Pandey town and you try to say the number of people in Biafra, there should be 1,000. Go there and do what is right. Let's leave out the fact that the government will compromise not paying you what you're supposed to get, because that's why they're not paying us, so we'll do anything. And sometimes other people will give you the run around and say, we will don't just do just what you can do. You inflate the population. Sometimes you deflate the population. Sometimes you increase the eligible voter just for you to get something from your political godfather. It happened when we were in the election. We saw it. We complained. Nobody talked about it. It went in the news media. Nobody spoke about it. Classification of cities by population. Infrastructure distance from the capital. Logistic feasibility, state supports and other support. Will we have the logistical feasibility? Do we have somebody who is logistically versed that going to deploy the people in town? So today I've come with you with this short presentation, and I'm going to go over it because my research is not stopping here. I have done a lot of research document, and the next time I will be giving you countries that have done biometric, they have had challenges, countries that have done biometric and they have passed. You need to know it. We need to know the lesson learned so we can be able to transcend or be able to relate that to whatever we do in Liberia. So our frustration about the 2023 election cannot end to a big lullaby. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kopa, and I'm leaving you because it is time to go. I will leave you with a song, and I hope you enjoy your day. The next time I see you, it will be tomorrow, and I will be here. Thank you so much.
We don't want no higher. We don't want no conviction. We don't want no higher. We don't want no conviction. Yeah. Let's and have a good time, brother. Let's and have a good time. Let's all sing together, baby. So, oh, sweet Liberia, and everybody, oh, sweet Liberia, and freedom, oh, sweet Liberia, election, oh, sweet Liberia, just each other, sweet Liberia, together we can make it stand, sweet Liberia, let us celebrate, oh, sweet Liberia, election commission, sweet Liberia, together we can make it stand, sweet Liberia.
Well, that was the day we have for you. Let me try to recognize all those that were here. Ambassador Gala Gordon was watching me from Liberia. He's the chairman of Team Kokpa Biwo for Bongo in Benbaso County. How are you, my brother? Peter Fala Peter was also watching us. Asa Zia from Liberia was watching us in Monrovia. Bachu is also watching us. And Asa Zia wrote in Biometric election be possible with the low level of education? Very good question. Gala said, I think we need to give the process time. He wanted us to try it, which is also good. I appreciate that a lot. But he said we should give it a time. It means government must invest in it. Thank you very much, guys. And I forgot to tell you that this presentation was concomitantly been displayed on Facebook and YouTube. Go to Biamudua YouTube and you'll see a lot of things that we have posted since we started this program. Thank you, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.
So, oh, sweet Liberia, let us liberty. Oh, sweet Liberia, let us freedom. Oh, sweet Liberia, election. Oh, sweet